Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I normally smoke my cigars in the evening, but it's late morning actually. It's only about 11:30. So this is a little unusual for me. Today I'll be reviewing the Casa Magna Colorado Robusto. Firm construction. Has a nice triple cap. It's a dark chocolatey brown, smooth feeling wrapper, almost oily feeling. Tight, visible seams, a little bit of vein, not real bad. This particular cigar has been in my humidor for probably 6 months or so. Has some real general tobacco flavor scents on the wrapper. Same with the foot. But in addition to tobacco scents, there's a very dominant chocolate scent to it. Not just baker's cocoa, but actual, almost like a milk chocolate scent to the foot. Go ahead and remove the band. The bands on these Casa Magna Colorado Robustos, quite attractive. I'm not sure how well the lighting is in here today. I may end up turning on a light. I try to just use light coming in through the window, but we'll see how it works out. Anyway, here's the band. Came off fairly easily. No additional glue as far as it sticking to the wrapper or whatever. So no damage there. So I'll go ahead and I'll get this cut up and start toasting, and I'll be back. These cigars are very well constructed. When I cut the cap, it came off exceptionally cleanly. Oftentimes when I cut the cap of a cigar, it'll crumble a little bit, make a little bit of a mess, but this came off really clean. I was really impressed with that. So we have it lit now, and has a nice even draw, not too firm, not too loose. It's right where I like it. Lots of smoke comes off of this Colorado Robusto. Has some nice white pepper notes early on. Nothing too strong. A little bit of white pepper coming through the nose. No discernible spice on the tongue, but towards the back of the mouth a little bit as it enters the sinuses. So I'll get well into the first third, and we'll see how this cigar progresses. Here I am into the first third. In addition to smoking earlier than I normally do, being that it's early, I'm just drinking a clear, neutral, soft drink for the beverage instead of my typical cognac or something along those lines. So that's definitely going to have an impact on my overall cigar smoking experience. One thing I'm noticing with this Casa Magna is it's a little milder than I had recalled these as being. I've smoked quite a few of these, and I always viewed them as being more towards the full-bodied side, but this seems to be more of a medium-bodied cigar at this point. Maybe it'll pick up in strength as I progress through the cigar. It's putting out a fairly moist smoke. My mouth's not getting it all dry. I've smoked some cigars where the smoke was just really dry and left you very, very thirsty. But this isn't doing that. Very smooth, almost a silky feel to the smoke. Nothing real dominant with any nuances, any flavors, anything like that. It's just a real smooth, even-keeled smoke at this point. At one point, I thought I started to pick up a little bit of meatiness, very short on the finish. It only lasted for a few puffs, and that meatiness disappeared. Followed by a small amount of parchment paper, but once again, short on the finish, and it only lasted for a few puffs. At $6.45 roughly for this Robusto-sized Casa Magna. It's a really good value. There's nothing off about these cigars. I've never had them put out any kind of bitterness or off flavors or anything at all unpleasant. I've always been very happy with these cigars. The burn is really pretty darn even. Got a little bit of wave, but nothing bad at all. It's a nice sharp edge to the burn, right on the burn line there. It's very crisp. The ash is holding on pretty tightly. Maybe a slight curve to the ash, nothing major. I don't feel any need to ash it at this point. And I have well over an inch, approaching an inch and a quarter worth of ash on there. I don't see any real issues. A little bit of crack from where I first lit the foot, about the first, between quarter and half inch. A little bit of a crack, but I don't feel that it's going to be falling off. I don't see it being a problem at this point. So I'll get into the second third and see what happens from there. I'm late in the first third, slowly approaching the second third. I have not yet ashed this cigar. I've got probably 1 3/4 inches worth of ash on there, something like that. I've been smoking this for about 30 minutes at this point. Ash is still holding on tight. That's pretty good. Smoke for 30 minutes and not have to ash. Still haven't picked up any new flavors or nuances or anything at this point. Still a medium-bodied cigar. I'm pleased with it. As I mentioned, I don't normally smoke this time of day, or if I do, I'm smoking a cheaper cigar that I don't tend to pay much attention to if I'm tinkering in the garage or something like that. It'd be about the only time I would smoke this time of day. But I don't do that very often. I like to save my cigars for the evening. So this is a new experience for me to sit down and relax and enjoy a cigar this time of day. That may very well have an impact on what this cigar does for me. So I'll continue on smoking this, and we'll see how it progresses. I've got a good solid 2 inches of ash here. If you notice, the burn on this is almost dead even. That's a good solid straight line burn there. Ash still holding on tight. However, I don't like to go beyond 2 inches of ash, because at any moment now this thing could fall in my lap, and I really don't want that. So I'll go ahead and I'll ash this. Little flick came off nicely. Not too bad. Really not even any choppiness, just a little bit right in the center. But it ashed off nicely. Still a medium-bodied smoke, well into the second third. The finish is pretty short on this. I've picked up a few new flavors, but being that the finish was so short, I'm having a hard time holding on to it long enough to discern what it is. A couple times in there I thought I felt a little bit of spice, and then disappeared almost instantly. A little bit of meatiness, disappeared instantly. A little bit of sourness, like maybe a grapefruit, but not real sour, like grapefruit with some sweetener on it. So there's an underlying sweetness to the sourness. But once again, very short on the finish. Other than that, it's still been a real smooth, silky smoke. Just starting to get a little bit of creaminess in the mouth. No issues with the burn, even though I flicked off roughly 2 inches of ash. Broke off nicely, stayed lit. Another thing about these Casa Magna Colorado Robustos, they feel good in the mouth. They're just soft enough that you don't feel like you have something hard in your mouth, yet it's not mushy or anything. It's very well constructed. Picking up a little bit of spice once again. Lingers a little bit, but it's still fairly short on the finish. So I'll get into the final third, and we'll see how the cigar progresses from there. A little bit of spice through the nose. Very slight amount of spice on the tongue. Cigar is starting to warm up a little bit. A little bit of warmth to the smoke. A little bit of burning wood to the taste. Very slight. Short on the finish once again. I had picked up, for just a moment there, a little bit of zip, a little bit of zing. Wasn't quite sure how to describe it, other than a little bit of zip, a little bit of zing. Ash still holding on nicely. Starting to develop a little bit more of a wave to the burn, but nothing real bad. A little bit of a crack in the ash right about there. I'll probably go ahead and ash this momentarily so it doesn't fall off into my lap. So with that, I'll continue smoking this, and I'll be back at the end of the final third towards the nub. So here I am at the nub. Just approaching the nub. The unevenness of the burn is really picked up, but being that I'm at the end, I'm not at all concerned. I'll be finishing this shortly. So to sum it up, in all, the Casa Magna Colorado Robusto has been a medium-bodied smoke, on the low end of medium. It's picked up a little bit of strength right towards the nub, but still a pretty solid medium-bodied smoke. Throughout, it's put out very short finishes of white pepper, a little bit of wood, like burning wood. A little bit of zip, a little bit of zing. A slight amount of sourness with sweet undertones. And just a real silky smooth smoke, creamy mouthfeel, very pleasant throughout. I've been very happy with this cigar, as I always am with these. Haven't had to correct the burn at all, haven't had to relight at all. The ash has held on tight throughout the smoke. I've been smoking this for just over an hour. So I thank you for once again watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews of the Casa Magna Colorado Robusto